Welcome to Roadcraft. Today we're taking a first look into the demo, which is available during Steams Nextfest from February 24th to March 3rd. And I'm going to treat this just like any old first look that I do on this channel. I'm going to show you as much as I possibly can, in as much detail as I can, so you get a bit of an idea of the sort of game loop to expect when this game launches on May 20th. Now, because this is part of Steams Nextfest, this means console isn't exactly involved, so this is also a good opportunity to show you guys what the demo is like too. Now, I've completed the demo twice now, and it's taken me roughly 3 hours, so I'm going to try and get that and condense it into a nice little 10 to 20 minute video for you. And I'm going to start with just going through the menus, and then we'll dive into some gameplay, because as you can see here, there's a start new game, there's a continue, there's a join game for co-op. Now, co-op I haven't actually tried because on day one of the demo, it was unavailable. They had server issues, but you can now do that through a public game with all these options. You can have an invite code, you can join a friend, and there's some multiplayer options when we get into a game I'll show you as well. There's the recent players that you played with, and here are some settings. Now, my video settings, it says custom down here, but these are the high settings that I've got there. Audio settings, the camera settings, got the controls all down here. Same with controller and steering wheel, which I don't have plugged in right now. But that's basically the menus. So if I continue game, we have 3 maps. We already knew that we had 3 maps, and this one's easy, this one's challenging, and that one's hard. And I'm going to reset them all so you get to experience what it is actually like, which I've already done already. Now, map number 1 is all about reconnecting the electricity. So let's start that off. Now, before you go into anything, you always start with a scout vehicle, which is the Omega Thunder 4, which, let's be honest, it's the Land Rover Defender. It looks like one, it performs like one, so to me, it is one. And here we are in game. Now, there is a bit of fog of war, as you can see. We will unlock the map as we drive around, and the map size is actually restricted. We don't actually get to see the entire thing, but we have a decent area. It does limit us with a sort of big red barrier. But yes, this is our little scout vehicle that we have. We've got the winch controls, which are a little bit strange, if I'm going to be honest. They're a lot more different than SnowRunner. So we're gonna make our way. I'm gonna show you the off-road capabilities. I'll put diff lock on as well as all-wheel drive. The water physics are pretty damn good too, as we go through a puddle there. I also want to sort of show you the suspension and how it goes through mud too. We're going to go to the right side of this because you can, in fact I might show you. Because when you drown your truck, it's quite quick, and this is the puddle where you can actually drown it. I know this from personal experience, and that's it. That's as quick as it is to do it, and it's just simply recover like this, and then we go back, boom, and back we are. And the first thing that we're going to be utilizing is the tree cutter, and we'll be laying and using the cable layer as well. So I'm going to show you all the vehicles and how they work on each of the maps as much as I possibly can, as well as us doing all the objectives too. And basically each map has, in the demo, has one big objective, and you can do them however you like, in what order you like, a bit like SnowRunner. It gives you objective and it's like, yeah, off you go, sort it. Right, so we're now at the sawmill, and there are 2 ways to get into vehicles. I'm just reversing myself so we are in proximity of the tree harvester, because we're basically going to clear this area in order to place a cable layer through there to connect the transformer station to another area which is up here, effectively. So you can switch vehicles. Oh, that's the wrong button. You can switch vehicles through here, and I can select it through here, and I can focus camera and then press X or enter on keyboard and mouse. However, if I hold the map button, you can see I can swap through nearby vehicles like this instead. And this is the tree harvester. It does exactly what you think it does. It cuts down trees. So we just need to be in proximity when it turns green. And then hold left button and then press A. But there's also a tree scanner too, so we can press Y. And that will scan for trees that it can cut. And the camera mode sort of focuses on the particular thing. If you have a crane, it focuses on the actual crane arm as well when you do that, but it depends on what you're actually driving. And then we can do stuff manually by the boom going left and right, or, you know, forward and back too. So we're just going to press A, it's going to go forward, and it's going to cut that away. Now we've got two options. I can either do it then and there, or I'm going to be logical and bring this around here so it will be easier to pick up, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be loading them into a log forwarder. So if we go process tree, it will then process that just like this. And that is your log. We only need 3, but it's most definitely worth, in this demo version, getting them all, because you need to get them all anyway in order to complete and clear this objective. So I've now cleared that area, and now we're ready for this log forwarder, which has some pretty chunky tyres, actually. And I must admit, the crane controls can be a little bit fiddly, because it's a little different to what I've screwed up already. And if I press B while holding left button, that's the camera I want. Because as you can see, when I'm still using my left stick, it still moves the actual truck. So I have to hold, which I wish we didn't have to do. I wish it was just a toggle. But that's fine. And then we'll load these up. Like that. Okay. So now we've sort of loaded them all manually. We can now get it ready for transport. So just like in SnowRunner, if you're familiar with that, we can strap this. Just like this. And whatever positions you put them in, it sort of keeps them there. As you can see with the way it's strapped. It doesn't do it like SnowRunner, where it sort of packs it in a specific format and layout. It just wraps around what is positioned by you. And just like in SnowRunner, we can reset the crane to its default position, like so. Now as we arrive, it's just whacked everything away like that. And when you deliver something, you might have noticed it sort of unstraps it, so you sort of need to strap it again. However, that is apparently not going to take it, but that's fine. So next of all, we need to sort of do the power cable. So we're going to be delivering this all the way to here, to the concrete slabs plant facility, should I say. And that's where we need to have power. So we need to have a backup power source, which is this thing here, being delivered. Now, luckily, there is a gap here. And one of the things you can do here is build a bridge. So if we go right like this, and we can build whatever bridge that we want. And this is basically the planning stage. So it doesn't matter the angle here, but we could go add here and go across there. Just like that. And we can adjust the flat ends or in line like so. And that's going to require us to have 3 logs. Just like that. And that's your planning. And then that needs 3 logs in order for it to be built. Now, you may notice a problem. We only have 2. The last time I did this, I actually had 3. However, I'm sure with all the trees around here, we can find and grab some. Right, so I've just had to go all the way back, as that's where the tree harvester is, and just grab one. Those piles over there are just for show. I mean, that would have made it way too easy. And there we go. That is the bridge built. Just like that. Alternatively, you could just go off-road. The first time I did the demo, I went down the railway line on the side there and went down. But it's also a great opportunity for me to show you how bridges work, which have been seen in some gameplay clippets. And there you go. Bridge built, because obviously that bit was just looking for a bridge to be built through there. So you may as well. And you can build them basically anywhere between, as long as it's accepting in the points, then yeah, it will. You can basically build it anywhere. Just like you can build roads, and we'll be doing some roads in the next map. Once we've laid some cable, this thing's just going to disappear when we go into here. Bang. Gone. This is an optional bit, but I have done it before. So I thought I'd just show you the machinery. You may notice there are a bunch of stumps, and you can probably guess what this thing does. So we need to have a cable run from this area here, which is where we've cleared the trees for, all the way to the concrete plant over here. And I think the radius is roughly there. Approximately. So this, yes, you can take the time to just navigate around the trees, but you could also make your own path. And the thing about the cable layer is it has a thing at the back that comes out quite wide. So you've got to think, okay, how wide is it? And these trees, I mentioned earlier, some of the trees you can just push over like this. So you can just do this. And because this has tracks, we're already muddying a path, so we know exactly where to go. So if I go activate, oh, I get the camera in a decent position. There we go. Oh, too far. And there we go, it's gone. So we're probably going to do the same with this one here. Like so. So this is the cable layer. And this is what we are going to be utilizing. So this is going to sort of do its own trench. And as you can see, this thing is folded out. And we sort of make our own little electricity UI element on the ground here. So we know exactly where we've laid. And I'm simply just going to follow approximately the tracks. Where I have laid them all out. Because it sort of makes it a bit easier as well. It's a bit of navigation as well. Right, and if we need to adjust, it will fold itself. Oh. And it will keep going again. Just like that. Oh. I also want to show you this thing. This is a light equipment vehicle. You might be able to tell what I'm about to do here. Because you can... I apologise for the sort of Kelly UI on the bottom there. It is sort of bugged after you finish, unfortunately. So there's nothing around that for now. So you can pop your little scout vehicle on here. It basically just about fits just this thing. Now, there is a big downside to this. Oh, just trying to adjust myself. Not too much power. And handbrake there. You can't actually winch to the centerpiece there. You might be able to see there is a centerpiece on the platform that you would think, yeah, I can do that. You can do that in SnowRunner. But in this, if we have our winch, you can attach to the side. But obviously, as soon as I switch to this, that's going to detach. And we can toggle that ramp. Now, the strap to cargo doesn't work, as you might be able to see. It doesn't actually strap it, which means if I go fast enough around a corner or through gravity or whatever, it's going to tip off, which isn't very good at the moment, but I'm assuming it's because this is a demo, it's not been fully fledged out. Fleshed out is the word I was looking for there. Welcome to map 2. You do start in the scout vehicle, however, there's no actual need to go anywhere. You can just go into the heavy crane, and our duty is to simply clear this area. So I get to show you the big heavy crane. There is the smaller one over there. It basically is the same, but you want to see the big one. Let's be honest. So that's what we're going to do. Now, for this mission, you can just push most of this out the way, but you can use the crane if you so want to, which I'm going to show you as well, because this is where it can get quite interesting with its multiple winch points. So if I position myself here, get the anchors out, and same controls as before. I press B, there we go. And this thing can go quite tall. So, there it is. That's what I was going to show you. So, what I can do is I can hold the right left button and I can actually cycle target as well. So if you're not quite getting what you want, you can cycle. You can also toggle the attach mode to a single point or multi-point, which is quite useful dependent on what you're lifting. So then I can hold left, press A, and I hold right. I can actually decrease the rope size as well, just like that. And then I can just shift it wherever I want, as long as it's out of this yellow area. So we could just shift it on the top of these containers here. Bang. As long as that doesn't roll all the way back on. Okay, we're good. Now that we've cleared that area, which is going to be useful for us later, we're next going to do the name of the game. We're going to craft a road with this predefined area, but this is because it's for an objective. You can actually do it anywhere you like. So we're first going to use the dozer to clear this area of all the different sort of rocks and boulders out the way. There's manual modes and there's obviously automatic. And we'll be using this again later because basically we're going to lay some sand and then we're going to need to flatten the sand with this dozer before we lay the asphalt and then roll it. That's the process of building the road in this game. And the thing about it too is you can do it anywhere, as I've already said. Now there's sand somewhere everywhere. For example, this is a more deserty map than anywhere else, but it won't work on that. You'll have to manually lay your sand before doing it. Now I've manually done this, but the great thing about this is you might have noticed there's an open construction request here. Oops, that's the wrong button. So if I open that, I can actually ask an AI to, in fact, yeah, we can ask the AI to do it for us if you absolutely want to in this dump truck. So I'm going to get this ready here, because the AI does a fantastic job at doing it. And I'm going to bring this thing back, because what I'm going to show you is something that you can all do this fully manually with AI's help. You could do the entire thing with AI's help if you absolutely want to, but I will sort of want to show you how you can almost do something that's co-op for a single player person, because you might be a single player person and so you might want to speed up some of this process. You might want to do this entire thing by yourself because you absolutely can. It's just an option that the game gives you, which I think is cool for you to witness. So I'm going to do that. So the AI is going to effectively lay the sand and I'm going to flatten it as we go along. And if you run out of sand, we're near a quarry where we can just refill once you're in the radius. So I'm going to go into the menu and I'm going to go road planning request. I'm then going to say select truck. So dump truck. And then I'm going to select that road segment. Select. And as you can see, it is already. Now I'm going to put myself into marching mode and then flattening mode. As you can see, I'm working together with the AI as the AI is dumping all the sand. Gonna slow down here as we catch up to it. So we lay the groundwork for this. So you can sort of see how quickly... Oh, there we go. Sort of teleported away there, but yeah. So the sand was laid by the AI, which means it's going to be absolutely perfect, but I did the flattening. And you can do that with the other process. So if I enter, yes, the roller, I'm basically going to do the exact same here. So I'm going to select the road plan. I'm going to say, select this truck and select that route. That's going to fire up. And it's going to lay the asphalt on top of that sand. I'm going to line myself up. And I will simply flatten it. Now, I'm only doing this with one AI. I suppose you could do the entire process with the entirety of the AI doing this all at the same time. With 3 vehicles, or even all 4 of them doing it. Oh. Oh, what's happened? Can it figure it out? Oh dear. I haven't had this problem before. And there we go. That is a road done. Despite the AI getting stuck, and then I'm getting stuck, and then bringing the crane down here, and yes, having to lift that out of there. That's how you build a road. And it looks pretty good. Now the next bit is actually the interesting bit, because the road creation and everything else is to do with the logistics bit, because this is going to be an AI convoy with the logistics element. So the point of this is to grab resources and move them all the way to here. So we're going to open the plot route, which is, we've seen this before, but this is it fully in action. So this is its start point, and the AI will go exactly along this route that you plan. So you've sort of got to do it correctly and precisely. And if you get the route wrong, or they collide with something, it can go wrong. Which is why it was a good idea for us to clear all that, and why we were clearing stuff right at the start with the cranes anyway. So this convoy has a clear shot of it. And this is the sort of logistics gameplay that you can have, because we'll have a bit of a convoy here. Some mounds there. So we need to sort of turn up here, which is where we were. Don't go too sharp apparently. So we'll do that. And this is where we were with the cranes. And we're going to set them up so they are straight in there like that. So we're going to dispatch those vehicles. I'm going to enter. And there'll be 3 of them. So that's number 1. There's number 2. And that is number 3. And so we're going to follow them behind. And you'll be able to see them in the distance taking the route. So yes, you may have noticed there is no sort of damage model. The only damage you can get is if you sort of flip over and then you have to recover because you don't have an autonomous winch, or if you drown your vehicle. And there's no fuel management for the vehicles either. I recognise that some of you, that's a really big deal breaker because you're used to SnowRunner, but after playing this a couple of times, it's a more of a nice to have because I'm okay with how this game is and how this plays. There we go. A few vehicles on the brand new road that we've just created. Oh dear. This one's got stuck for some reason. Oh dear. Well, that's what happens when they get stuck. So the route failed. Oh, hello. All-wheel drive, please. We're just going to knock this rock. Because to me, that's a clear route. But evidently not. All we need to do, really, is we can take the same route. They just need to go a bit wider on that bit. So... we can add a new point here, can we? There we go. We add a new point there. And that it should be able to do that. That will put a point there as well. Point there. Right. And there we go. Now I'm not sure where the other vehicles are. Whether they'll just... yeah, they'll just spawn at this point if failed. Good to know. I haven't actually done this where it's failed before. Should be a third one, right? I'll pop into existence. There we go. So there you go. A live demonstration of what happens when you fail a route. Oh. So you don't have to do the route all the way from the start again, which I thought you might have had to. And that's the last one that finishes up there. And there we go. Now we are on map number 3, scenario number 3, the final one. And this is all about restoring the pipeline. So we've got to grab a valve and bring it up. I believe it is up here. And then we've got to sort of grab 2 pipes and repair those as well. Now I said I would show you the winch, which is what we're going to do now. Because in order to open this door, we need to use the winch. So I'm going to hold right button. And I'm going to aim it. And the yellow one is where I'm aimed at. And then left button. And then I can pull that to the side. Like that. And then detach. And then I'm going to do the same on this side. So I'm going to just pull it with the... like that. A little different from SnowRunner. So we are going to travel along here, and there's already a bridge built for us as well along here. Now what we have here is something interesting. A stationary crane. We didn't actually need the scout to come all the way up here, so I've grabbed our little crane truck here. Because we need to go and grab this valve over here. If we go and put ourselves in the view where we need to go. And move like this. Oh. Just going to move this out the way. Because this is basically scrapyard anyway. So we grab this. There we go. We should be able to just about send it over there. The one we've just used is a little bit different because we don't need to hold left or right bumper for it to be used. That's the wrong way. Now when you use the crane for the first time on the very first map, the anchor points will actually be defaulted by a single point winch. but it will save it. So ever since then, I've always used a multi-point winch. See, this object has 2. We've seen it. Some objects have 4. By the way. And therefore it will stay like that. Right, bang. So I can put those away, reset the crane, and strap it on. So we are now having to go all the way down here, go past the Skyline Quarry, and go up the very much dodgy road. So we're now at that pipe. So I've prepped it, and it will just pop in like that. Bang. Done like that. Now, over here, I have, by the way, this little tractor that I've put on was literally, if you can see those red containers there, it was basically part above here. Because what we now need to do is we need to go to the pipes facility and bring rubber of the appropriate color. Now what that means is you see that it's blue there. And if I go over here, point my camera over here, I think we're not in proximity, I don't think. These objects over here, you might have noticed throughout this entire video there have been objects that have been glowing in a particular color, and this is resources that you can use to convert to something else. So it will be those sort of barrels that are blue, and this tractor is blue, and I can utilize this tractor in order to recycle for steel pipes. We only need 2, but it's going to give us a whole lot more because we go into this area, and if I unstrap, it's going to disappear, and we have 4 steel pipes. So I'm going to say 1, 2, and they are going to appear here. And then I'm going to load both of these up and then take them to the places that they need to go. So that's a bit of resource management for you as well. So anything that sort of glows in the world can be utilized as long as you take it to the correct place. For example, that tire is glowing a yellow, so it wouldn't do at all. But anything else, there's loads of things that have been glowing as I've been driving, which you might have noticed. But we're going to load these up, and then we're going to put them in place. So now we are at the first one. Now this one's a little bit different because we need to actually grab this and pull it out if we can. Let me give that a bit of slack. Just like that. There we go. Sometimes if it doesn't work, you just have to knock it out with the other. Just rotate round to this one. And no. I've made a mess of this now. I had it. I had it. No. Right. We now just need to adjust this way. Bingo. There we go. And this is usually the one where you need to knock it out. Oh, there we go. We can just place that down there. Although, we might be fine. Let me just bring that in a little bit. Oh, no, no, go up. There we go. Wrong way. This is 100% not going to reach, but we can try. Oh, I might be wrong. Oh no, I think I am right. Oh! 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 Yes, there we go. There we go. Ideally, you don't want to be that far down, but yeah, there we go. That is map 3 complete. And that is the Roadcraft demo. I've tried to show you as much as I possibly can throughout all 3 maps. If this video has gone on a bit too long, then I apologise. But when it comes to these first looks, I do like to make sure I explain as much as I possibly can and show you as much as I possibly can. And as I said right at the start of the video, this took me roughly 3 hours to complete. Hopefully this video has shown you how Roadcraft works. Just bear in mind this is a demo. It's subject to change. There are things that may be going to be altered or changed by come launch, come May 20th. But this should give us a rough idea of what to expect. Now, by all means, make up your own minds based on the gameplay I've shown you. But what I think is Roadcraft does exactly what it's supposed to do. It takes the Runner series DNA and adds in logistics, resource management, and construction into the mix. And that to me is enough. This is not SnowRunner 2, remember. This is a spin-off just like Expeditions, except I feel that Roadcraft is a more true spin-off than Expeditions was. This gives us the freedom that SnowRunner does give us. Now, after playing this demo now for the 3rd time, do I think that it needs fuel management or the ability to change gears manually? Not necessarily, but it would be nice to have. I know it's a big deal breaker for a lot of you, but what you should be looking at is what Roadcraft is and represents in terms of its gameplay, not what it is in comparison to SnowRunner. I know it's an automatic thing that we will all do, but I love SnowRunner, and if I wanted the SnowRunner experience, that's what I would play. And I absolutely love the idea of the resource management, the logistics, and the construction into the SnowRunner sort of series. So I really do like this. And I've enjoyed myself because I've played the demo 3 times now. But by all means, make up your own mind. You can wishlist it on your platform of your choice, as it will be coming out on both console and PC. Obviously, the demo was only on PC because it was Steams Nextfest, which obviously isn't on PlayStation or Xbox, as it's on Steam. I'd like to know in the comments below what you're thinking of Roadcraft after me showing you as much as I possibly can today. If you enjoyed this video, found it helpful and informative, and like to see more content like this one, make sure you are subscribed. I'll continue to cover the latest news and updates of the latest racing and simulation titles, including Roadcraft, as we get closer to launch as well. So if that interests you, stick around and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.